So in this video, we are going to understand basically how many types of raw materials, or I will say how we value the raw materials. Basically, a raw material might be having a different price. It might be having a standard price as well as it might be having a moving average price. Now, what is the difference between these two? When we talk about standard price means a fixed price. Okay, it's a predetermined price, and that is what is stored in the material master. This price remains the same irrespective of the number of invoices coming in. So let's say you have decided that the raw material price is 10 per unit, so it will remain 10 per unit irrespective, even if it is coming at 11 per unit or 12 per unit or what. So what happens is you will keep it as standard, but at the end of the month you will just try to find out what all are the variances, and that's how the process is. So it is standard throughout the month. At the end of the month, the variances are calculated. Fine. That's the standard price. But when we talk about moving average price means it goes on changing. Okay. It is a recurring calculation. With every invoice, you will have a different price, and accordingly, the average price will be calculated each and every time. Okay. So this is an example of moving average price. You can see in this case, on 1st of September, you have 100 quantity at the price of 10. Then on 5th of September, you have another 80 quantities at the price of 12. So finally, you are going to take the average. You see that total 1960 is the value divided by 180. And that's the moving average price 10.89. See, this is within the month itself. That is, it's an ongoing exercise. This doesn't happen in case of a standard price. It remains fixed. If it is 10, it is 10. But at the end of the month, you calculate the variances. Okay, so the variance analysis goes in standard price, not in the moving average price. Okay, fine. So that's the difference between the standard and the moving average price. Now, moving ahead, we need to create some GL accounts, which is a responsibility of a FI consultant. Now, what type of GL accounts we are going to create? In our case, we have two types of raw materials. One is raw material standard, so that is it is going to value at the standard price. Another one we are going to create is raw material moving average, okay, which will be valued at the moving average price. And the third one, the GRIR clearing account, as we discussed in our previous videos. A GRIR clearing account is a reconciliation account. Why this has been used? Because when the goods receipt is there, the goods receipt happens prior to the invoice receipt. So the invoice receipt is not yet there, so the vendor is not into picture. To post the goods receipt, you post the entry raw material account debit to GRIR clearing account. Okay. And when the invoice is received, this GRIR account gets debited and vendor gets credited. So finally, the vendor comes into picture when the invoice is received. Okay. So this GRIR clearing account helps you to basically reconcile the goods receipt, that's GR, and invoice receipt. Okay. So let's go into SAP and create these three GL accounts: RM standard, RM moving average, and GRIR clearing account. Okay. Okay, fine. So let's move into SAP. So we are into SAP, and let me go to SPRO, and now I will go to FS00. And once I go to FS00, I'm going to create an account. Now, raw material standard and raw material moving average, these are basically what these are, assets. So you need to create it under assets. Okay. So I will create it under assets. Let me go and create a new GL account altogether. Okay. I'm not going to copy it from somewhere. I will just create a new one directly. I will create this, and my GL account number is 200122. Okay. And my company code, it is ABB. Fine. So 200122 GL account type is, it's a balance sheet account. It is an asset account. So, okay, it is an asset account. So I will just set current assets and loans and advances. You'll check the group of current assets. Basically, it is a current asset. Okay. So the short text is, let me take raw material standard. Okay. This I have done. I will go to control data. Once I go to control data, you will click on balances in local currency, tax category, as we will be purchasing it and input tax will be levied. So you will click on only input tax allowed. Okay. This is an integration. See, this is an FI-MM integration. Whatever GLs you will create, always you need to click on post automatically. Okay, that we will see it. But right now you can also click on posting without tax allowed, and scroll down, select the sort key as 001 posting date. Okay, once you have done this, now go to create bank interest and the field status. What will be the field status? It is a raw material. You can select G006 material accounts and click on post automatically. This is what I was talking about. Post automatically means, because what happens in FI-MM integration, we have the automatic account determination. Whatever the entries get posted in the FI side, that posted automatically. So all the GLs, whatever you are going to create, you have a check mark on post automatically. Okay, and click on save. So you have created raw material standard GL. Okay, now once you have created raw material standard, now what we need to do, we also need to create another GL of raw material moving average. Okay, so now I will go, let me change company code. Okay, here it is. This is my company code ABB. Okay, and I have created just now one GL. It is raw material standard. Okay, 200122. Similarly, I will create another GL. Now I will copy this GL and I will create another GL that is for raw material moving average. Okay, and here it is, 200123. Fine. Now, once I go to this, go to description, change the name, raw material moving average. Okay, rest of the things remain the same. You don't need to change anything, and you just click on save. So I have created another GL that is raw material moving average. Okay, the third GL which I need to create is the goods receipt invoice receipt clearing. That is the GRIR clearing account. Always remember, GRIR clearing account is a liability account, and so you need to go and create a liability account called as GRIR clearing account. Okay, and so what I'm going to do, I am going to create a new liability account 100504. I'll click on this and then go to description. In the description, I will select it as a liability. It's a balance sheet account and it is a liability account. Okay, I will select it under liabilities. Now what it is GRIR clearing account. GRIR clearing. Okay, we'll type the same again. So I have created a GRIR clearing account. Now what next? I will go to control data, and in the control data, you select, okay, balances in local currency. In tax category, you need to select all tax category. Okay, remember, you need to select all types of tax allowed, and posting without tax allowed, you can again check mark on it. Scroll down. Now an important thing is this GRIR clearing account sort key will not be posting rate, it will be purchase order. Why purchase order? It is 014, because this account, as it is a clearing account, I said earlier also, when you receive the goods, entries raw materials debited to GRIR clearing account. When the invoice is received, entries GRIR clearing to vendor account. So ultimately you are trying to set it off, and how you will set it off, it will be through the help of the purchase order number. So that's why you will be entering 014 as the sort key. Go to create bank interest. In the field group, select G045. Okay, that is for goods received, and then click on post automatically only and just save this. So finally, you have created basically three GLs, that is raw material standard, raw material moving average, and GRIR clearing. Besides it, you also need to get other GLs like price difference. We also discussed earlier that there might be difference in the price, whatever you have ordered for and the goods received, and against which the invoice is received. So there might be a difference in the price. You must have received the goods at a price of 10 per unit, but when the invoice came in, it was at 12 per unit. So anyhow, there is a difference. There is a price difference. So where you will, set off this. So for that, you also need to create another GL, and that is the price difference GL. Okay. So we can also create this GL right away, and we will also create another GL. Price difference is basically an expense. So what I will do, I will go to expenses. Let me check where are my expenses. Okay. Let me go to administration. Within administration, we can create one. So we'll go and create, okay, 400386. That's my another GL, and I will go to type description, and it's an expense. Okay, it's a primary cost basically. So primary cost, go to account group. So what is an account group? Let's take it as administration. Okay, and then the GL is price difference. Okay, price difference. That's the GL name. Go to control data. In the control data, you can select balances in local currency. Tax category, again, you can select all types of tax allowed over here. Fine, posting without tax allowed. Scroll down and select the sort key as 001. Fine. Once you select the sort key as 001, okay, it's loading. Fine. and then you need to select the cost element category. Now we have selected this as a primary cost. So go to 01, you will have the primary cost. Fine. You have the primary cost. Now go to create bank interest tab, field status, put as a normal GL, G001, the field one, and post automatically only should be check mark as it is an integration. Fine. So I have saved this as well. So I have created another GL that is for freight as well. Now, basically, you understand we have selected this as a primary cost element, but when an integration happens, FIMM integration, when accounting entry is being posted, you will realize that you also need to assign a cost center to these GLs. But when these GLs are being automatically posted, then when will the cost center be assigned? How you will assign it? So for that, in the initial stage only, you need to go to OKB9. Okay, you need to go to OKB9 and assign cost centers to these GLs. Now, those cost centers will be the default cost center. So whenever you will an automatic entry gets posted, these GLs will be assigned to that cost center automatically. Okay, so you need to go to OKB9. Okay, and you need to select your company code. You need to select the cost element. We had 400386 and 387. So I will 400386. I have selected that. Okay, if it is not appearing, go to new entries and enter your company code ABB, cost element 400386 for price difference. Okay, then you need to have a cost center. Finally, you need to assign a cost center. Go over here and check what cost center you have at your company code. Accordingly, you can choose the cost center. Let me take department A for cost center over here. And then I will again go for this. I will also assign a default cost center for freight as well. Okay, and the same cost center I'm assigning in my case. That's it. And I need to save this. Okay, I have assigned default cost centers to my expense GLs that were the primary cost elements. Okay, great. Fine. So now what? So now the next thing is basically it's more related to understanding what is valuation classes and movement types, which we will understand in our next class.